You're not going to teach the GOP a lesson. What's going to happen here is...
Thomas Massey approved this message.
Wool-Getty Gowline and liberal out-of-state special interest groups have run millions in ads.
The Democrat Party, their entire electoral strategy for the last 10 years has been importing a new electorate.
Sir, I need you to let me have immigration, but sir,
okay, chill out. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're more than likely going to pass through amnesty, get rid of all of Trump's tax cuts, and give illegals the right to vote, all the shit. Earlier today, oil was at $116, okay? Crude oil was $116. Yeah. Everybody was dooming. Everyone was panicking. Everyone was shitting themselves. Well, now it's down to just under 94. That's still not good. But listen, what apparently people beginning to realize, oh, the strait is still open to a certain extent. And it's not as bad as some people were claiming. So yeah, crude was at around 116 bucks. Now it went down to 93. Yeah, good lord. But yeah, so it's now it crashed again. Good lord. But yeah, so it just keeps going down now. This was a big concern for a lot of people because for those that don't know, like oil's supposed to be around like 80 bucks to 60, I think, right? Somewhere in that range. It's kind of the healthy range, I think. It's like $60 to $80. It's supposed to be not 116. Like that's kind of like you're talking about energy crisis level. That's not good. But right now, it's actually starting to kind of self-correct a little bit because people are realizing that, oh yeah, we still got some good news. We got some really good news, and we'll get to that. But yeah, they also are talking about you got the French Navy involved now. They're going to be protecting ships. The American Navy, it looks like they're supporting ships as well. So, yeah. Apparently, people are beginning to realize ships are crossing the strait. All they're doing is just turning off the transponders before they enter the strait, then turn it back on when they pass. Yeah. So it turns out they're still going through the strait. Not as many of course, there's still a lot of them hesitant, but it sounds like no, all they're doing is just turn the transponder off and turn it back on when they get out of there. And you look at this video right here, look at this. I mean, they're all like stopping in one area and they magically appear in the other area. Wonder what's going on here.
I can't believe the solution to the global energy crisis was just turning it off.
This is officially Mamdani's statement. This is a real statement he put out. Yesterday, white supremacist Jake Lane organized a protest outside of Gracie Mansion, rooted in bigotry and racism. Such hate has no place in New York City, is affront to our city's values, and the unity that defines who we are. Oh, the unity. Yeah. Anyway.
Hey guys.
I thought diversity was our strength. Now it's unity. Now he's calling for mass assimilation.
Guys.
What?
We're city. Our democracy. Our city.
Shut up. What followed was even more disturbing. Violence in a protest is never acceptable. The attempt to use an explosive device and hurt others is not only criminal, it is reprehensible and the antithesis of who we are. I want to thank the brave men and women of the New York Police Department, blah, blah, blah. Our officers ran towards danger without...
You were trying to underfund.
Yeah. So you notice the way it's phrased. You notice he doesn't mention it's the counter protest. You notice that he never says it's the counter protesters or whoever. He makes it sound like it was the Jake Lane people.
At the very least, even if you read that as like, oh, well, maybe he's like not actually saying it was Langer. He's only like slightly implying it. The fact is, this guy starts his tweet by essentially saying, oh my god, this fucking white nationalist wignat fucking, oh my god, could you believe it? Such a cruel individual, and he's full of hatred. And he goes, oh yeah, there was this bomb, by the way, and it's worse, but like, you know, like, let's not talk about what his ideology was. It's the ideology of the white nationalist who was, you know, had a fucking bomb thrown at him.
He spent more time attacking Lane than he did about the actual bomb. And you wonder why people are pissed off right now. It's like, this is insane. Why the fuck do we have to put up with this? And
because democracy, because like democracy and protecting our democracy.
Yeah.
It's the
American Earth for 2. Didn't Zoran send in the protesters? No, he didn't. That we know about.
Look, it's very, very simple. If you criticize poor brown people in this country, you're a fucking fascist and a Nazi. Even if you're a progressive and you're counter-signaling it, yeah, I'm back in my room now, yeah. Even if you are a progressive who is counter-signaling it, even if in an implied manner, you're going to get taken down for it. Because poor brown immigrants who don't speak a lick of fucking English that come over here and treat our country as an open-air economic zone.
Get libtards to vote for border security.
And they never did.
How did that go?
Never did. Because
How did that fucking go?
For some reason, I guess, like, we can give them the benefit of the doubt, because maybe back then libtards were less likely to just completely go back against everything they've said. But that's the reason that that Trump pushed so hard against the Biden border bill they were trying to push, because they kept calling it, oh, this is the most strict immigration bill in decades. You want to know what it did? It codified catch and release up to 1.5 million illegal aliens per year.
People understand that, like, we're not even joking, by the way. It basically said you cannot import 1 million illegal immigrants a year without doing...
It was like either 1.2 or 1.5 million illegals every single year. And you can't even keep them in custody. You have to release them. It codified catch and release, which was primarily a Biden-era policy of, if you come in illegally, we'll give you a work permit and a 2030 court date, and then we'll give you another 10 years to keep appealing it. You'll end up living in America for 15 or 20 years before you finally get removed, and that's if that basically.
And they have kids probably, so they can't get removed.
They have kids that basically give them a stronger reason to be allowed to stay. And Democrats have spent the last 15 years and will spend the next 20 years pushing for mass amnesty. They're essentially giving these illegal aliens as much time as possible to sit in the country, because the longer they do that, the more likely it is that they find the time and the votes to give all of them citizenship. And when they give all of them citizenship, there is no more America, because you have imported an electorate that is millions or tens of millions of people, and 90% of them are going to vote for the party that wants to give them voting rights, that wants to give them...
Hostile actors.
They are hostile state actors. It is unironically, and this is not a conspiracy theory, Democrats brag about this constantly, the Democrat Party, their entire electoral strategy for the last 10 years has been importing a new electorate, one more favorable to them, and giving them voting rights and giving them welfare, because they are, by their own admission, buying elections.
Yeah,
they are importing illegals, they are giving them citizenship, and they're giving them incentives. Hey, if you vote for us, we'll bring your whole family over. and we'll give you all of the welfare you want. That is their electoral strategy. They brag when states like Texas and Georgia get less white because they know that when a state becomes less white and more black and more Hispanic, maybe less so in Texas's case, but definitely states like Georgia and Arizona, guess what? The state gets bluer. I'm sure a fucking Star Wars named Judge from fucking Eritrea who became a citizen a year ago will probably strike it down and force you to keep the border open anyways. But after 2.5, then you have to shut the border down. It's automatic, which means that a Democrat president could bring in 10 million illegal aliens every single year, or every single term.
Yeah.
In one term, a Democrat president could bring in 10 million illegals. To read the room on this, you have to understand that now is not the time to be principled and abstain from your vote, or even worse, voting for Democrats to teach the GOP a lesson. You're not going to teach the GOP a lesson. What's going to happen here is, and this is what happens a lot of the time, when people sit out of elections and Republicans lose, the party, the wing in power gets blamed. Yeah. So the MAGA wing is in full force in the GOP. If they lose, they're going to move left, and it's the same thing. Like, people were talking about how after Harris lost, the party's going to either move left or move right because it has to. When a wing loses, and it loses badly, especially because their own voters sit out because they aren't perfect. Well, that wing of the party is to blame. We got to try something new.
May I remind everybody what the Republicans did after 2012? People forget about this. In 2012, when Romney got destroyed, does anybody remember what they blamed for why he lost in 2012? They said Mitt Romney was too harsh on immigration. I'm not even joking. There's a whole fucking document they released where they said, we got to support amnesty to win. We got to support mass immigration. We need to be left-wing on immigration. That's what they were pushing. The GOP never, when they lose elections, they take the wrong lessons. Same with Democrats. They usually do. But
say Democrats are going to move. They're moving left. They've decided that Kamala Harris was too moderate for them.
And I made a chart a couple days ago, and even though, yes, the primary vote share in Starr County was down, look at the numbers before 2024 or 2022. Look at this. Look at this shit. You guys notice anything odd about before 2022? You notice anything?
Well, let's see. Looking. It's very odd. But yeah, no. That's kind of the thing where you have to pick a ballot, because I don't think the judge race was competitive in 22. I think it was an incumbent who was going to win anyways. People didn't feel the need to vote. But then it became like local elections are a big deal in South Texas, as I've learned as of late. They want to they take that shit seriously because, and this is true in general, your local, in a lot of cases, your local representation, both at the state and county or city level, is going to influence your life more than a senator will.
And especially with the especially on the border like that.
Especially like this, like a county judge is an important position, and these people are already ancestral Democrats. So yes, they pulled a Democratic ballot because they wanted to vote in their Democratic local primaries. And then they went, oh, Tallarico and Crockett, I hate both of these people. I'm going to leave the ballot blank. Over half of them did this.
Well, and on top of that,
I'm going to say those people are probably going to all vote for the Republican. They're probably all going to vote for Abbott, or at least most of them will, because you cannot just look at who pulled a Democrat ballot and who pulled a Republican ballot, because that doesn't work when there's local elections and people in ancestral Dems blank the top of the ballot. You can't do it.
early voting has begun in the state of, or the Commonwealth of Virginia, and to say it looks awful for Democrats would be an understatement. Again, this is early voting, okay? This is early voting. You have to be careful with it, but, yeah,
But
look at
we
this.
saw back in 2025 how terrible it was this early on. It was pretty clear.
It was bad,
And
yeah.
now you're seeing Republican counties are overrunning everywhere. They're all overrunning. And Democratic counties are all underrunning.
Yeah, so like a good example is District 9, which is the most Republican district in the Commonwealth. That alone has 5,381 votes, okay? For comparison, the three most Democrat districts, the 3rd, the 11th, and the 8th, that's about 7,000 for the three most Democrat seats. So one district has just as many as the three most Democrat ones. What does that tell you? And that does not include...
Pissed off. Republicans are pissed off that we're voting. Or they're voting.
That does not include the 1st district, the 6th, the 5th, the 2nd, which is way more competitive. So, look at that.
So again, if Republicans keep this up and independents go the way, because there was that one poll conducted, had it failing by 8, and it was because of independents. So if that independent number's right and you get turnout good, there's a chance this could fail. So
I think, you know, if this keeps up, the whole point is just getting your people to vote. Because the thing with Democrats and these type of referendums is I think Democrats overplayed their hand like the last couple weeks. In Virginia, they went way too far in some policies. And even the redistricting stuff, the looks of it is just awful. Because at least with California, you get like 4 or 5 Republican seats. At least that's better than 1. But here it's like, you're just screwing over a bunch of people across the entire state. So
also, the No side got a $4 million donation yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
I should add is more than the California No side had got in the entire campaign. Despite Kevin McCarthy pledging to raise over $100 million.
Yeah, fuck McCarthy. This is Virginia. This is not even like California or anything. We're talking about a state that, yeah, voted for Harris by 5 points. Look at this. This is real, by the way. Virginia Democrats just passed a bill banning the hand counting of ballots. Yeah. Look at this. This is actually not even a joke. You read what it says. This is the official summary. Requires ballot scanner machines to use machine readable ballots and prohibits such ballots from being counted by hand unless the ballot scanner machine is inoperative, blah, blah, blah. So basically, it is illegal to count the votes by hand unless everything falls apart and breaks. Yeah. This is the shit they just passed. They're passing stuff to get rid of old, like you can legalize old crime. And you can do anything. You can kill somebody. It's crazy what's going on here. This is one bill. There are hundreds of crazy bills being pushed through. And they have a 2-seat majority in the state Senate. Congratulations. This is just a couple days ago. Virginia Democrats have passed a bill that eliminates an existing rule requiring secured cash bail for anyone who has been convicted of a prior felony, is on probation or parole, or is already out on bond for a different crime. Yeah. So, they're removing a rule that requires cash bail for those that commit a crime or many. So basically, you can get off scot-free. If you commit a crime, even if you committed a felony beforehand, nope, you get off scot-free. This is Virginia right now. By these special elections, they're misleading. But even then, Harris did only slightly better than his 24 showing. And what is supposed to be a historical blue wave when he ran for the seat already, and I believe, if I pull this up, he actually outspent everybody. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. He outspent everybody. Look at that. I'm not even exaggerating. Look at this. He spent $4 million on this random ass special election. All the other Republicans combined for like maybe like 1.5 million, or excuse me, a bit more than that, like just under 2 million total. This one Democrat wasted $4 million. He had a 2-to-1 advantage, and he still only slightly overperformed. What does this tell you? It's clear that they spent all this money and they still couldn't crack 40 here. I mean, what? I don't get why people are celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, you overperformed 2024, but you should have done way better. If you want to really go down that route, you should have done way better, because you outspent everybody by a crazy margin, and you still got a slight plurality with no other major Democrat in the race. Unbelievable that some people really push the idea. Guys, this is a DEFCON 1 disaster. Is it bad? Sure. I think Republicans still have a clear problem. They have a clear problem where their voters still don't vote in these special elections, and even Ohio 6th District. Mike O'Rourke won by like 9 points. There were only 59,000 votes here. That's it. And Mike O'Rourke won by only 9. Compared to what happened in November, well, look at that. Really won by 33. Special elections, they can indicate some enthusiasm, sure. But even in 2024, guys, in June of 2024, Democrats were falling apart. I think this is right after the Biden debate, I think. Or might have been before it. I can't really remember. Let me pull this up. Okay, this was right before the debate, a couple weeks before it. But even then, at this point, Trump was clearly favored to win. He was going to win the election. So you're telling me that in the middle of Trump's, like, you could argue, maybe not his peak, but like right before it, you're telling me that Democrats were actually going to secretly win or overperform by 20 points nationwide because it's random special? A reminder, a lot of these same people were pushing the same shit back then. Yeah. This is the proof that special elections don't mean shit. Most of the time. Could they? Once in a while, maybe. But like 90% of the time, special elections don't really matter. Only we can get rid of Cornyn in the primary. I think John Cornyn's screwed. I mean, he's flip-flopping to the filibuster again. Now he's saying, oh, guys, I support abolishing the filibuster, but actually I don't. No, I want reform. And Trump is apparently pissed. He is apparently furious with John Thune and especially John Cornyn. So we'll see. We shall see what happens in Texas, but I think John Cornyn's in big trouble now. He's flip-flopping the filibuster again, and John Thune fucked himself now. All he had to do was convince just only 50 of the 51 GOP senators to do something. That's all he had to do, and he couldn't even do that. Part of it I know is Mitch McConnell being a dumb shit, but still. You have some leeway, and you still cannot get this through. It's pathetic. This is not a joke. In a past committee, already passed the state Senate, I think, they voted out of committee a bill that would ban any assault weapon. In Virginia's code, an assault weapon is defined as any semi-automatic center fire rifle or pistol that expels single or multiple projectiles. The bill makes it a Class 1 misdemeanor to possess or sell an assault weapon under the definition, as well as any magazine that holds over 10 rounds. Most firearms fit under this definition. If signed into law, it would turn millions of law-abiding gun owners in Virginia into felons with a stroke of a pen. Yeah, let's give these people power, sure. And you look at the video of the guy trying to explain the bill. He does not know what he's talking about. He really thinks any gun is an assault weapon. It is just crazy. Yeah, this is what Virginia gets for sticking it to Trump. I mean, yeah. Yeah, let's ban basically every gun because reasons. They tried the same shit in 2019. Somehow it's even more radical now. And it blew up in their face in 21. So don't let people fool you. Democrats will do this nationwide. They get a 2-seat majority in the state Senate there, and of course the state legislature, a bigger one. But seriously, yeah, new taxes, gun control, more abortion, going after freedom of speech. Yeah, guys, you may not like the GOP. But do you really think this is a better alternative? What can anyone name anything Democrats are better on than Republicans at this point? Name one. Or I should say 2 things. Name 2 things Democrats are better on. I can't name a single thing. Not one. I'm talking about a major thing, not some obscure issue that 0.1% of people care about. No. Of the major issues. This is crazy. Yeah, look at Washington State. Hell, after they passed that bill, all the rich people are leaving Washington. So they just fucked themselves over. All those companies are leaving. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're more than likely going to pass through amnesty, get rid of all of Trump's tax cuts, give illegals the right to vote, all the shit. So what's the plan here? Because I'm confused. And you think it was bad with the Biden DOJ going after random people? It would be made 1,000 times worse. Democrats are already saying if they win, they're going to lock up every single person involved with ICE. Anybody that supports Trump, they're going after. So I'm trying to figure out, what's the plan here? If anybody can explain, let me know, because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure what the plan is. And, how does this actually, win in the long term? I don't get it. You don't have to like the GOP, fine. Even if Democrats won 2028, it would be a guarantee us 2030. Republicans would still probably have a turnout issue. Yeah, you think Republicans have a turnout issue now? If Democrats take control, you know what's going to happen? Republicans are going to stop voting. And there you go. You're fucked. You just fucked yourself over for possibly ever by doing that strategy. So, thank you for bringing this up, Real TV Show. I forgot to mention this. This is who, people are trying to, get behind. This is Thomas Massey who ran this ad, okay? So, you would think with it being his own ad, it would be bashing Trump and be consistent with what he's saying. Well, this is what he ran.
I'm Thomas Massey, and I approve this message.
Woke Eddie Gowrine and liberal out-of-state special interest groups have run millions in ads trying to tell you how pro-Trump he is. But what they haven't told you is woke Eddie
Look at
Gowrine
this.
abandoned presidential.
Look at this. This is a real ad. I should probably mute this so I don't get copyrighted. Look at this. Here, Trump. Ed Gowrine is not actually pro-Trump. He abandoned Trump's GOP. Look at this. Of his MAGA duty, woke Eddie left the GOP. This is a pro-Massey ad. I'm not even joking. This is a pro-Thomas Massey ad. The MAGA movement's taking off. Yeah, we're gonna fight for Trump. This is really Thomas Massey ad. And now, Thomas Massey's the real MAGA pro-Trump patriot. like, unbelievable. They're not even like, this is real. There's no shame in the Thomas Massie campaign. And that's what Massie's doing. People on the ground can confirm this. In Kentucky, when he's not on Twitter saying dumb shit or in DC calling Trump a pedo protector, he's running around his own district saying, I'm the most pro-Trump person ever. I am MAGA to the extreme. I vote with Trump 100% of the time. I love Trump. I'm the real MAGA patriot. So you're telling me Rich Barris and Robert Barrs are claiming Trump is unpopular even in Kentucky. Everybody hates his guts. His endorsements are negative now. But now, Thomas Massie's entire campaign is how he's a true MAGA patriot. He's gonna back Trump and this other guy is woke and he's anti-Trump. Unbelievable. Yeah, he proposed a couple months ago the Scam Act, which basically would expand the amount of people we could denaturalize to like a shit ton of things. And now he's openly saying, we gotta go even further. But either way, Andy Ogles, a little while ago, he has just proposed the Assimilation Act. This is what he said. The Hart-Celler Immigration Act in 1965, in conjunction with the Immigration Act in 1990, is the most recent declaration of war of Congress that has ever passed. Not only did this legislation declare war on American culture, but it has also been sending foreign troops to every American community.
Just got hit by an Indian.
Bro. Communities steal their jobs, erase their religion, and infiltrate their schools. I'm preparing a monumental bill that repeals Hart-Celler, ends the H-1B visa scam, ends chain migration, and creates a whole new character-based system that would make America look like America again. The Assimilation Act is how we can save our culture. What?
Character-based... what do you call it? Character-based profiles for immigration are almost impossible to get in full numbers, by the way. So he's basically implicitly saying, yeah, we're going to, like, just nuke legal immigration.
Yeah, basically. And the idea is it goes back to what it was before the 60s. That's kind of what he's saying here. It goes back to what it was from the 1920s to the early 60s. Which, again, when was the golden age in America? The 1950s. So take that as you will. But in 2010, she lost the primary, made a backroom deal with Democrats to be, like, run as an independent, and she barely won. 2016, there's a third-party candidate, she barely cracked 50. We all know what happened in 22. That was fucking ridiculous. Change the damn law because you're gonna lose? Seriously? It's unbelievable.
You gotta respect the political intrigue.
Oh, yeah. She is definitely a very politically savvy in Alaska, but that's bullshit. We're dealing with that crap. In Alaska.
She's a fucking snake and bad for our agenda, yeah.
Yeah. If this was like, you know, if she was doing it for good things, I would support 100%. But, yeah. If she switches parties, she'll go down. Not with ranked choice voting. Nope. But okay, so...
Okay, let's get this clear. She's a Republican because it benefits her.
Yeah.
She's not a Democrat. She's voted against Democrats and Obama tons of times. She is not a partisan. She's bipartisan in the sense that she's a power-hungry motherfucker who is willing to work with whoever that will allow her to remain a senator. She's just corrupt. That's literally what it is. She's just a corrupt motherfucker.
They should investigate her. Honestly, I think she definitely has skeletons in her closet.
Oh,
they should investigate her.
Look, she is one of those corrupt people in the Senate. That's... Look that up.
Get her, yeah, send her to jail.
Yeah, she is extremely corrupt, extremely power hungry. So, yeah.
We thought we were gonna need to. No, they literally just surrendered. Like the Cuban subplot didn't even begin and it's already ended, bro. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
We
come
didn't
on.
even do anything. That's awesome. No, honestly, after fucking up Iran, it's probably a good thing we've done we did literally nothing and we still fucking got something out of that.
You know, it is kind of two things. One, Cuba, toppling the Cuban regime has the most significant symbolic. It has the most symbolic significance, rather, even more than Iran.
I agree.
And because of how long they've been they've been doing this for 70 years at this point.
Yeah, they've just been sitting there.
How many years?
There.
67 years. They've been doing this for
67.
Oh, shut up.
Funny. 67 years.
7.
Stupid. And second of all, this also proves that toppling governments in Latin America is way easier than toppling governments.
Oh yeah, because the Middle East, you have the religious factor, and in Central America, it's like they want these people gone.
There's no religious factor. I mean, South Americans are more akin to the Balkans in the 80s than they are to Muslims or Arabs or even Persians.
All right, President Gilbert getting up for 5. I'm sorry to be reps do not need to stop focusing. What? Hold on. I'm sorry, but Republicans do need to stop focusing on demographics in Florida. We need to focus elsewhere: Texas, North Carolina, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and possibly Nebraska. Oh, I agree. But just if you solidify the Cuban vote forever, that'd be fucking hilarious. Save the Venezuelan vote, but cake up for 5. Everything bad that happens is Trump's fault. The Child's Guidebook to Navigating Discourse, written by Hillary Clinton, illustrated by Hunter Biden. Oh my. American Nerd for 2. So what deal do we make with Cuba exactly? There's no deal yet, but it's it's sounding like we kind of just tell them, listen, you can either give up now, and we'll let you go. I think what's going to happen is they're going to flee to fucking Russia or some shit, or China or whatever, and in return, they don't end up like Maduro. That's kind of what I'm getting out of this. Now, the Cuban president, he announced. What?
I wouldn't be surprised if they do get some kind of political asylum deal.
Yeah, it's gonna be like China or something.
Look, yes, Trump tried to do the same thing with Maduro, and Maduro fucked around him.
Paper clippings from the 1860s or whatever, where the people that wrote it, they explained it and were saying, no, this only applies to freed slaves and naturalized citizens. This does not apply to everybody. Now, because that was a concern back then. And they clearly said, no, that's not who it was intended for. But right here, Section 1 of the 14th Amendment. All persons both born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person without its jurisdiction the equal protection laws. That's Section 1. What? Does this really sound like everybody that comes to America is a citizen?
No.
No, it doesn't. Because look at the part right there. It's subject to the jurisdiction thereof. What does that mean? What does that mean? Now that's the part everybody ignores. They only talk about the first part. All persons born or naturalized in the United States. They never mention that part. Because it's clear. You interpret it as, yes, people that are born or naturalized here and are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That means there are ways you can enforce it. I can't believe they explained this, but that's the 14th Amendment. So,
yep.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yep. No, just. Are you really gonna vote for a Democrat? Because the median voter is genuinely just so fucking turned off by Democrats.
Yeah. So right here, RFK's Aligned Maha PAC is spending $100 million to surge Republicans a victory in 2026. This is one fucking group or coalition of PACs, 100 million for Maha, and they're gonna back Republicans.
Josh Ellender, 2024 champs for 5. Where will Sonic the Hedgehog judge come from to keep birthright? Sonic says trans rights, guys. Sonic agrees with me.
Oh my! They have 100 million just casually laying around for RFK. RFK himself has 100 million. Trump has hundreds of millions. The RNC has hundreds of millions. The Republicans have hundreds of millions. Senate GOP have hundreds of millions. And they can blow they're blowing 80 million on John Cornyn, and they have not felt any pressure on money. That's how much fucking money we got. Democrats, yes,
it's almost like it's almost like axing USAID on all of these things that gave money to the NGOs.
Yeah,
completely. Wow. It's like they were using federal government money and NGOs too.
And I should be clear about this.
Campaigns.
I should be clear about this with the money. Democrats can still raise a lot of money. They still can. They have the operation. But you notice that a lot of these races, they're not raising a lot of money compared to what they used to. They're just not. Yes, you have incumbents like who's the guy from Georgia?
Ossoff.
Yeah, Ossoff. He's raised a lot of money, but he's the incumbent. He's been there for 6 years. All these other groups. 90%
of his money comes from out of state, by the way.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the grassroots, he has no fucking grassroots support.
That's the issue Democrats have. Some candidates can raise money, but now it's not every single candidate can raise 100 million. They don't got that anymore. And we didn't even mention the fact that question, who's the richest man alive?
Elon Musk, who has already said he's going to back the Republicans.
He's worth at this point. It's like, how much is he worth now? Like 800 billion or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
He can literally spend 10 billion this year and not impact him at all. He probably gains money from that, actually. So yeah, I do think what's going to happen with Musk alone, you're just going to see billions of dollars. With Trump's PACs, hundreds of millions. They're raising fuck you money.
We might see up to $1 trillion spent by the Republican Party, if not at least half.
I would say $1 trillion. Which is pass the Save America Act. Pass through reconciliation or freaking
I will say this
whatever.
About the Save America Act. I don't think I'm not the biggest fan of mail-in voting, but they may have to relax some of the nuances around that. Like, you can't just ban it fully at this point.
No, ban it fully.
I mean, I get it, but
ban it fully.
Just restrict it. Don't fully ban it. I
think a better restriction for it is make it where it's like, no, the mail-in votes are due a week before election day. None of this shit where it comes 5 weeks after the fact.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, ballots have to be received on election day. Okay.
I'd say before.
There is minimum that has to be received before on election day.
Don't go chasing after gold and end up with nothing. Sometimes you can end up with silver.
I would be fine with that.
And then
you know what?
That's how you'll get gold.
Yeah, honestly, just say, okay.
Auspicious fortune.
You can have mail-in voting, but there's got to be heavy restrictions on it, and also, it has to be due a week before election day. Like, not just freaking somewhere in the mail system and it's there 5 weeks later. No, it's actually, it's sent, it's like received, all that stuff. Because, guys, even if you can't do the mail-in vote, you can still vote in person. You have to do that point. So, I don't get the argument for why we need mass mail-in voting. Why? If we're gonna have it, why make it where you can turn it in a week later? That's bullshit. Real TV show for 5. Did you hear what the Old Dominion students killed the terrorist by beating him up? Yeah, I heard about that. Apparently they beat the shit out of they beat the shit out of him. So we need those 100,000 Democrat ballots in Michigan that dropped 4 days late. Yeah, we totally need that. You have to mail
Illinois, dude, Chicago.
Oh my gosh!
Cook County itself, they just dropped it. As the night went on, they just kept dropping, or as the weeks went on, it's like, oh, here's another 100,000 ballots that broke 99
out
to
of
1.
nowhere, out of some random precinct that has like 10 people in it.
And like they were ballots that were received like 5 days after. Like, we're not doing this shit anymore.
I'm convinced Trump won the popular vote by more. I think he did.
Base Cash Patel arresting Indian nationals. He's really
I just thought I'd bring this up.
He's doing the Roy Cohn base.
Yes, apparently. Take guess why they were arrested. Take guess why.
H1B fraud.
Boston's Violent Crimes Task Force has arrested 10 Indian nationals across Massachusetts, Kentucky, Missouri, and Ohio for allegedly participating in staged armed robberies for the purpose of allowing store clerks to claim they were victims of violent crime so they could apply for immigration benefits.
That is such an Indian mind.
Sir, I need you to let me have immigration benefits, sir. Sir,
That is
okay, chill out.
Seriously, jokes aside, and I can say this because
You are Indian.
dude. Oh my god, fucking Jesus. Horrible.
An 11th Indian national who is deported to India has also been charged. That
Are they gonna charge him in India? Maybe if it's bad enough to charge
who
them,
knows?
But otherwise, I don't think they will.
The only reason I bring this up is I kind of find it funny that Cash Patel actually like retweet this. But yeah, so I do hope we start like clamping down H1Bs since we're talking about this, please. Which speaking of H1Bs, yeah,
They are significantly reducing it, but to abolish it, you need Congress.
you need Congress.
Forget the Democrats. The Democrats are not going to abolish this, except for maybe like 2 of them, and even then, they're probably not. Like, we have so many god-awful Republicans who are not going to abolish this. Like, yeah, we need. Trump should just stop issuing H1Bs, give an executive order, and also stop.
I would just say
issuing not just H1Bs, but like all immigration, and then he should
I would
tell
say this:
Congress,
you use some obscure law from God knows when that allows the president to like say, "Oh, we have an economic emergency. I gotta freeze H1Bs for a year." Do it.
Yeah, but then a judge is gonna be like, "Oh no, you."
Let the judges play their games.
All
No,
that
it
shit.
was unanimous
Insane.
vote actually. No, it was unanimous.
Oh, that is true. The fucking GOP would probably vote for these people. Because I remember there were judges that were I'm not even fucking kidding you. Go look it up. They struck down the reconciliation bill's revocation of Planned Parenthood funds.
Yeah, I remember
They told Congress, they unironically told Congress, no, you're not allowed to revoke funding for Planned Parenthood. You need to keep it in there.
That is just insane.
They fucking told Congress that it does not control the purse string, the purse strings. It told them that
guys, these
the
judges,
judge, I control the purse strings.
But these judges are fair and bipartisan. Yeah. That's the issue, but like the problem is like you get a random judge in like fucking it's always like Maryland for some reason or like Massachusetts.
It's Maryland, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York City, Philadelphia is a big one sometimes.
It's always the same 2 judges, by the way. How do they always do the same cases? Is that strange?
Who's that one? Judge was it
Boasberg.
Boasberg, yeah.
Anytime.
It's fucking Boasberg.
Anytime.
It's called judge shopping.
Yeah.
That they know to do this because they understand that even with the Supreme Court limiting universal injunctions, it's just judge shopping because the way that our system is set up right now is when a president passes a law or when a president signs a bill into law or when a president signs an executive order, it has to be approved by all 4,000 judges in this country. If one of them says, no, I don't like this is illegal because I want it to be illegal because I don't agree with it politically, well, guess what? It doesn't get to go into effect because the judge strikes it down and it's blocked nationwide. That is how our judicial system works, and it sucks. And the only saving grace is that the Supreme Court steps in pretty much on the fucking weekly.
The Supreme Court
and
the appeals courts are still kind of.
Appeals courts are still more conservative. And what happens is the Supreme Court shows up and rules 5-4 or 6-3 that no, you as a random lowly district judge, you're not him. You don't get to make those decisions. You get to go away. You don't get to make these decisions. Well, you are not in charge.
Well, and also just like sometimes it's like 9-0. Sometimes like, it's just so absurd. Even liberal justices are like, "What the hell is this?"
I was gonna say, like, Ketanji Brown Jackson is probably the most partisan judge on the court currently, especially when it comes to racial issues. She's the least likely to vote with conservatives on pretty much anything, and even she has struck down and agreed to strike down several things in this term.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
That's how bad it is.
And by the way, the Senate can, like, if they got off their ass, they could defundalize the courts.
Amy Coney Barrett I can't speak. Amy Coney Barrett parroted the original dissent against the case that gave birthright citizenship. I think Kavanaugh, of all the judges, other than obviously Roberts, is going to be the judge that defects. And Kavanaugh, in my opinion, being the weakest, he was still... I mean, I was just fucking saying, because I talked to Ye about this a bit ago. Even Roberts wasn't very sold on a lot of the arguments for birthright citizenship. I'm going to be bold and say I think Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Barrett all vote in favor of repealing birthright citizenship.
I think what's going to happen...
Roberts the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give Roberts the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I was looking more into this, and the original decision was based off of some made-up shit. Even back then, people were like, "What the hell is this?"
It was based off of a lower court's loose opinion on a thing. It was based on a California court's original interpretation back in the 1870s or 1890s, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it was the 19th century. Yes, it was the 19th century. The Supreme Court's opinion, very, very, very liberal at the time, by the way. Their opinion was informed by a lower California court's opinion, which by legal scrutinizers, even at the time, said they had an incredibly generous and flimsy interpretation of the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, because when you look at how they look at the law and stuff, go look at the original intention of the people that wrote the 14th Amendment. They clearly said this wasn't just people that cross the border and become citizens. No, it was this was meant for the freed slaves. This was meant for people that come here illegally and they naturalize and all that. That's what it was meant for.